Hello, it is me, Pearl from Pearl and the Prayers, and this is Tuned In Tarot. And we are here to take a look at the balance between the divine masculine and the divine feminine energy inside of self, understanding that whatever state we find this energy in, we can expect to see that reflected back to us in our interactions with others, in our external environment. And if we want to see change, we do need to shift and change the energy within. And hopefully, my readings help you do just that. And I was just telling everyone in the TikTok stream, which is simultaneously streaming. So if you happen to lose connection or anything over here on YouTube, you can hop over to the TikTok stream. But I was just saying that we are doing a challenge. We are starting a challenge. It is called the In Your Dreams Challenge, and it's fun. So I wrote a song that was released last Friday called I Don't Know If You've Heard, and it is a powerful spell of a song, and it is meant to enchant you and to be enchanting. And there's a part of the song that is featured in the clip on TikTok where I sing, "Come back, baby, come back to me, come back, come back, come back, come back." And what the song is about is like right at that moment that you feel like you're in your power, that's when the exes start to kind of crawl back, come back, start to surface. And that's a point where you can kind of have a weakness again. You can be pulled back into old patterns or cycles. And so in this, and you have to choose yourself again, and then you go back to that feeling of empowerment. So that's what the song is about, and it's meant to be like a confidence spell when you listen to it. So if you're going through a weak time where you're like, oh God, I really want to text this person, or wherever it is that you're at in that cycle with your person, you play the song, you remember who the fuck you are, and you get your confidence back. So I want to do a challenge where you all make videos of yourself in your favorite outfits or doing something. You could even be from, you don't have to appear in the video, but you could show like things you've made or any of the talents you might have. I love how it's just like raining all of a sudden, just like pouring down. And that's how many videos I want. I just want like floods of videos of people. Tag me, show me how empowered you are. Take your power back from somebody that has that power over you to draw you back into their cycles, whether it's, it doesn't even have to be a romantic situation. It can be a friendship. It can be a parent, but somebody who seems to have power over you. Use the song to take your power back and share it with others and encourage them to do the same. That is a challenge. There's going to be more specific rules. If you're looking for the actual rules, go to my Tuned In Tarot TikTok. There will be another video on Pearl's Prayers released soon, but I just did one for Tuned In Tarot, so you can go see the challenge there if you want to get the rules specifically. I will be choosing my favorites to win a session with me. So if that sounds like something you're interested in, go check it out. And also, the sale, sadly, the half off sale is over, but I have decided that I will continue to offer the buy one get one, which was actually active during the half off sale. Basically, if you bought a 60 to 90-minute session with me, I am allowing you to book a second session for free. So you get 2 sessions for the price of one. That's still available now, even though the actual sale is done. So basically, when you book one session with me, you're actually booking 2 sessions. And one of the reasons I decided I would do that going forward is because, and I'm going to change the website to reflect what I just said, but I decided that everybody books their first session and they usually want to talk about their relationship with their person. And there's nothing wrong with that. Our relationships with people in our lives really do help us to get insight into like our behaviors and et cetera, et cetera. I can't believe how loud the rain is. I love rainstorms like this. So I want them to have a second session so that you can actually work on some of the healing that you need to do and yourself and your passions and anything else that might be of interest. Because I think a lot of times I'll leave a session and I know so much about the person that wasn't even at my session, the person that you're focused on, and very little about you. And so I feel like that second session is for you to just focus on you and figure out exactly how you go forward from whatever insight you gained from the first session. So while there is no longer a half off sale, you're still getting 2 sessions for the price of one, which virtually continues the half off sale in a way that isn't annoying for me to have to turn it on and off. So go ahead and take advantage of that now. I will be honoring that when people book sessions. I do thank you to everybody who did book a session last week. really helped with my being able to handle my finances this week. So thank you for that. And if you would like to book private readings, there are yes no readings, which are one question readings. There's also two or more questions or a tell me everything spread, which would be called the video reading. All that is at the link in my profile. As is passes.com/pearls prayers, which is where you will find extended content without ads. So if you watch this on YouTube and you're sick of the ads and you'd like to see whole readings, I do put extended readings over there. Lately, I have not had as much extended readings because I was focused on getting my track release last week, but there'll be more specific content for you now. Okay. I already shuffled. Let's look. We're looking at masculine energy, the energy of the mind, the intellect, the energy of going and doing an action, and feminine energy, the energy of the heart, the emotion, receptivity, creativity. We can look at this as the masculine energy of ourselves reflected back to us in another person or in a connection. And the general week ahead reading is meant for you to gain insight, not just on relationships, although I do provide insight into that, but insight into finance, career, because those things are all really connected. And usually, if there's something going on in a relationship, it's reflecting other things going on in your life. It's like the microcosm of a macrocosm. Everybody hydrate. Okay. So what am I seeing? 10 of Cups. I got all excited. Then I flipped over the feminine energy and saw the Death card. It was like, well, okay then. But I don't feel like this happiness ending, which you could easily associate when these two cards are paired together, primarily because of the positioning in the spread, and also just the feeling that I have. Because what I really feel is rebirth. There's a new baby in this image of the 10 of Cups. You can see they're holding or cradling an infant there. This couple is. So I don't feel this is about something ending. I feel like this is about something being reborn. And it's the overall energy of this week. I do think it might be something that in the past seemed like it was over. Something you might have buried. This could be a passion or interest that you really knew would make you feel really happy, satisfied, fulfilled. And you might have had to bury it in your life. But this week, it's going to come back to you in a new way. You're going to get in touch with that creative side of yourself, or return to it, or see some return on the investment that you've made into it, because maybe it felt like you did all these things and nothing happened. And this is really going to show you that like something happened, right? Like this is a very powerful, major transformation of something that really brings you a lot of happiness. I do think you were very scared of this having ended in the past. And I think it's going to come as a real source of delight and pleasure to you that your luck has changed. And I think that your luck has changed because underlying this energy is the Seven of Wands in the masculine energy and the Wheel of Fortune in the feminine energy. This is somebody that's standing up and fighting for their success in something. In its shadow, it can also represent that they're fighting off their success. But like I said, I'm not seeing this. I'm actually feeling really positive energy from these cards. So we're seeing here the, I told you. I just flipped over a card I forgot to flip over. So we're seeing here somebody fighting to be successful, fighting to make a change, a major change in their lives, a major change, major change. And I do feel being successful in that change based on the cards. And I'm going to give more confirmation of that because when I flipped over, I'm using the Island Time Wellness deck for some junk food messages for us. If for those of you that know my style of reading, my main readings, the general week ahead, the tell me everything, the Friday love reading, the career or money reading, the show me the money reading, all those readings are meant to have like deep layers, lessons. I'm going to preach at you. I'm going to read you to filth, like that kind of a thing. Junk food reading is the readings that we all listen to that are just like, and then your person was like, oh my God, you're so cute. And like wants to talk to you kind of shit and has a karmic and all that kind of shit. That's the junk food messages I will bring through. There's nothing wrong with junk food. It's fun to have once in a while, but too much of it is not a good thing kind of situation. But I like to put a little bit in for you for the week ahead for fun. So the junk food message is actually a lesson here. We've got ascending coming out. And it says transcending obstacles, learning expansion, new phase, and preparing for union. So, like I said, new phase. And the bottom of the deck, which is the underlying energy, says karmic relationship, fleeting triggers, turmoil, resentment, lessons, letting go, and loving you. And I feel this is what caused the ascension, letting go of someone, no longer fighting against your own success, and like letting go of whatever desire you had that was destabilizing you, and centering yourself and making your own self concept and your own idea of your own reality the most important thing to you. Has You've learned this lesson, you've learned this karmic lesson, you've overcome these struggles, and you've made this major change by letting go and loving you and ascending. And that's even from the perspective of junk food. So I mean, that's the kind of junk food I want to eat. It's like when you go to Whole Foods and get like the Whole Foods version of the junk food, and you're like almost feel good about it. You're like, oh, this is macaroni and cheese, but it's Whole Foods macaroni and cheese. All right, let's do the past. So what are we carrying in from last week in the masculine headspace? Here, let me just, I don't know where to put these cards. Let me do like this, I think. Okay. Because I don't want to flip them yet. I'm going to flip the junk food last. Okay. So I'm feeling very New York today. My accent's very New York today. It's weird. It's like, I don't always have that. It's not something I necessarily always have. Sometimes it just slips out. Okay. So what is divine masculine carrying in from last week? The desire with that 7 of Wands. Remember, this is the underlying energy, something we desire very much. The desire to meet up, to physically meet up in the real world, to connect. Divine feminine energy. This is also to do something you love. If this is not in terms of a relationship, if this is career or money, this is to be able to do something that you love in the physical world. And then from divine feminine, we have the strength card. I feel like I mentioned something about the strength card. Oh yeah, the lion sleeps tonight. Oh my God, that's like what I called the freaking live stream. I forgot about it. And I didn't even see that card. So for some reason I started singing the lion sleeps like right before I typed what the live title was. So I made it the lion sleeps, and then I thought, oh, that's kind of giving strength card vibes. And then here's a strength card. So I guess that's why I was having that download. Thank you, my guide. So there's a strong desire to meet up in the physical. Both of you have that. Divine feminine is carrying in this ability to kind of be patient, to control the part of her that would want to rush or show signs of anger or like anxiousness or any of the like tumultuous feelings that might come up in having to wait for something. There's been like a real strength in regards to controlling those emotions, which has really worked to her benefit. I also see that there is a confidence about the ability to do what you love or to be in a connection that you would love. Do you see my light turned on? Did somebody just type that? Oh, you can't see that. So I have this light right here. If you watch me on the YouTube readings, you're able to see when it turns on and off. You can see, I don't know if you can tell, but there is a remote control that is like, it's just literally on it. It's magnetized to it. Don't have access to that. It just turns on or off and I've always had things with lights my whole life. Since I was a kid, lights will turn on or off no matter where I am, my house, someone else's house, it doesn't matter. And people get freaked out by it, but I'm so used to it. And nothing else really happens other than that. And my constant psychic channeling, but regardless. Anyway, the 2 of Cups and the Strength cards. This is a very powerful message with even that light coming on, which for me is like the sun coming out. Especially my room is dark and my light is I don't know. I guess my guides were like, let's like put the light on in the room. But it's honestly been a really powerful and a positive force that you're carrying in. I'm confident about being able to do what I love. I'm confident about being able to be in a relationship that I love. And I'm no longer, I'm ending any lack of confidence I would have had before. Like that was that was a bad dream. Like I don't even know why I didn't believe in myself from the beginning. It doesn't even make sense. That's silly. That's the kind of attitude you're bringing into this week. If you're not there yet, then maybe you're about to come into that energy, but it's going to be soon, like within the next 24 hours, because this is for the whole week ahead. And this is what you're carrying in from like today, or like last week. Where are you in your current energy? Divine masculine with this Knight of Pentacles. All right, so there's still that slow moving perfectionistic energy, but it's solid and reliable. I'm seeing this person trudging forward, and like there's mud and it's slow going, but they're never going to give up either. They're just going to keep coming. And okay, so these two parts of yourself are kind of doing a little back and forth here, because we've got your mind that's like, okay, let's take this one step at a time. And we've got your heart that's like, you fucking kidding me? It's the King of Wands here. We got to get some action, okay? We need to see some action. We need to see some action, okay? We need to like have some intimacy. We can't we can't be practical all the time. We need to be a little sexy sometimes. We got to go get them. But look at all the confidence that's coming out in the Divine Feminines. We have Strength card, Leo energy, the Lion energy. We have the Action, King of Wands card, more Lion energy. We literally have the Lion appearing in this card. And you all here on TikTok watched me out of the blue sing that song and then type the Lion Sleeps as the name of this reading. And I didn't see the cards yet. They're all flipped over on my desk. So that's just nutty to me. But anyway, so the current energy right now is a little push-pull. We've got the mind that's like, okay, we're going to take this one step at a time. We're going to do this, and then we're going to do this, and then we're going to do that. And then we're going to get from that point to that point to that point. And the feminine energy is like, I think you're stalling. I think you're stalling because I think what we really need to do is take action. There's no reason to stall. You have a really strong message here. You have a powerful vision. You are highly attractive to others. Why would we wait? Why would we stall? We already know we're solid and reliable because we've mastered ourselves, because we're king. This isn't a knight. This is a king. So this is a knight. So your little brain wants to take it one step at a time. Bitch, you're a knight. I'm a king. Follow your heart. Your heart is going to tell you what to do. This is your mind being like, no. People don't become famous in music unless X, Y, and Z are in place. People don't become successful in the art world unless they have this and that. Nobody ever gets a bestseller without X, Y, and Z happening. And that certainly won't work because, and the whole time, your perfectionistic Virgo-like voice that's telling you, all of this useful, practical information is completely disregarding the fact that you don't get anything by toiling on the earth like that. That is, I mean, it feels good to get something from that, but you don't get anything any faster by toiling slower than you do by just allowing yourself to believe that you can have something right now. I don't know if that, like, you can go slowly, you can toil away, but that's an immature way of thinking. This is a more advanced way of knowing intuitively that there is nothing stopping you but your own mind coming up with these very careful, in order for this person to respond in this way that I'm imagining, which is an illusion of me being able to control what happens in the dynamic between us by me thinking about it and keeping it in my head instead of just going for it and seeing what's going to happen in reality because I'm afraid of, you know what I mean? So you have to stop trying to like trudge through each thing. What I have started doing is I go to my chat GPT, which I have programmed to be like my manager. And I say, okay, release the track. I didn't do X, Y, and Z, couldn't bring myself to do it. Now this is a situation. What do I do now? And when you tell me what to do, I want you to give me one step. I don't want you to give me context for it. I literally just want you to say, go here, do this. And then I'll do that. And then I will tell you about the experience. And if I have a question, I'll ask you. Because I get overwhelmed when the thing is like, do this and this and this and this and this. I'm like, cool. I just give me one thing. So I tell it to do that. to give me one thing. And then I just do it. Okay. I don't look at the whole plan and say, okay, on Wednesday, I have to do this. On Tuesday, I have to do this on Wednesday, because that's what I was doing before. And you know what I was getting from that? Nothing. I was getting nothing from that. I literally, my finances for the past few months have been so bad that I literally dreamed that a tow truck came and got my car today. And when I woke up, I would have believed that it had happened. So like, I was doing this Knight of Pentacles stuff every day. I stopped doing that. I started doing this, which is spontaneous, following my intuition. Even if my intuition was like, play The Sims all day today, don't do anything else. I was like, what? That seems like an avoidance tactic if I ever heard of one. But you know what? I feel very strongly that I'm not going to be able to make like something happen by staring at my desk and hoping that I'll think of something to try to get my finances improved when everything I do on a daily basis isn't working. I think I'm just going to take a mind break from that and play The Sims. And then voila, that night I go live and I make $155 after not being able to make even $155 for a month. So I really feel like there is this acknowledgement in your current energy this week that, you know, your mind, it's solid, it's reliable, you're smart, you know, you're making progress. But if you really want to move, if you really want to get out of that stuck energy that you've been in, you're gonna follow your heart this week. You're going to listen to your heart and feel the energy and trust where that is taking you, because it's taking you places. The last placement for the week ahead energy before we get into the junk food cards is, if we do nothing, if you don't take any advice, if you just if you just stay exactly as you are right now without doing anything at all, where would this energy logically take us? Okay, we've got the Nine of Cups, that's wish fulfillment, and we've got the Three of Swords, very interesting, in the heart space. Very interesting. So now we have the mind with the Nine of Cups, which is like all of the wishes being fulfilled, but fear of being selfish. And then we have the Three of Swords, which is about a painful realization. And the synchronicity of these cards coming out is so incredible, because today I wrote an entry in my morning pages because I watched a reading today by a reader on YouTube who asked this question, and I'm going to just read it right from what I wrote down, because and I'll get it right. Is there anything that's making me feel guilty or ashamed of my own success and thriving? Recognize when that is happening and separate. I must recognize when that is happening and separate myself from it. So what I wrote down, so that you can get an example of what this energy means, is, and remember, I did this morning at like 7 a.m. So I wrote down, being able to make hundreds of dollars doing anything that my little heart desires brings up fear of the feeling when my mom and grandmother had nasty energy and would say in a shrewish voice, spoiled rotten brat. I can hear the aggressive dislike of my behavior when I demanded freedom and autonomy in particular, or whenever they felt I was being too much, or perhaps even when I was being moody or having a moment, as children who are learning how to handle frustration, overwhelm, and pressure often do. So I started I wrote that down, and then I was talking to my friend about being a spoiled brat. And the reason I'm bringing this up is because the Nine of Cups is often seen as someone who's selfish, because they have everything they want and they're not necessarily that great at sharing it with others. It's a kind of person that wants their cake and eat it too, sort of a thing, which hurts themselves and others in the process. And there is this fear that if I do have everything that I desire, that I'm going to be seen as being selfish, being spoiled. And I have to heal that feeling, because this week I really do think the things that you want are very, very likely to come through. And I do think that there will be sort of a reaction there. if you don't take any of the healing from what I'm reading for you today, where you may actually feel bad or feel guilty or something about getting what you have desired. It's possible that your desires maybe cause turmoil for someone else, or just that there are people around you that you know don't yet have their desires and you feel guilty about that. So let me share what else I wrote. Um, After I talked to my friend, I got back on YouTube and another reading came up. And the title of that reading was, "You're about to get spoiled, but it won't spoil you." And I just about died because we had literally been talking. I just read you about being spoiled. And like, okay, maybe my phone was listening to me, although I do have that setting turned off for YouTube. So that would be annoying if that's the case. But regardless, that's still part of my algorithm, right? So I listened to that reading and I got a deeper message from that. And I wrote down, "And so I shall spoil myself and allow myself to be spoiled. There is nothing rotten, and there never was anything rotten about me. I could never be a rotten person, and I always deserve to receive what I was asking for, to have my needs met and validated, to feel comfortable and safe to desire the grandest dreams, the untamable wildness of the soul." I would say to myself, you absolutely deserve to have the best. And it does feel disappointing sometimes when the circumstances don't align just the way you imagined. Indeed, this feeling happens a fair amount of times. And it's difficult and uncomfy feeling. But you know what else happens a lot? When you set your expectations, and then what you actually get is so much better than what you were asking for. I'm not sure if you're in a space to hear me right now and be able to find something about today that was better than you thought. But when you can, and then feel appreciation for that moment, I bet you'll find you aren't thinking much about feeling let down right now. You take the time you need to feel sad, and when you feel ready to come back to what we were doing or start a new activity, I'll be here ready to play with you. It's definitely okay to feel sad. I love you. So that is what I should have heard when I expressed disappointment with something, and instead I would get, "You're an ungrateful, spoiled brat." Like, what I should get is like a lesson about disappointment being a part of life. And so there was some healing energy that came through today, in particular, in regards to this particular feeling that prepared me to see this here. And the thing is, I'm not seeing that this Three of Swords is saying that you're going to be hurt by what you wish for. But I do think that you might need to overcome any fears about appearing to be spoiled or having guilt about receiving what you desire or wish for. And also, I think of the being careful what you wish for. I think if you are afraid or you carry fear into what you wish for, you could actually be disappointed this week. And maybe when you're hearing that, what I just read about disappointment, maybe that's a message. Maybe there is for some of you an experience of something that you thought was going to be your wish actually turning out not to work out, and that message of allowing for the sadness and the disappointment to happen, and then being prepared to notice how what you're going to receive now is going to be so much better than what you missed out on. For the junk food messages coming through, and now I'm really curious to see these. Okay, I can't pick them up though because of my awesome new nails. We love them, but picking up cards is like really fun. Oh my God. Endings bring new beginnings, growth, change, liberation, and transformation. That's literally the death card. So that's being confirmed right there. So endings bring new beginnings. So there you may have had something that ended and there's a new beginning with that thing, or something is ending and you might experience disappointment, but you're realizing from this reading today, from the messages you received, that you really are going to be receiving something better, and there might even be like a relief there. We keep getting this mirror card, mirroring each other, self-image, relationships reflect our wounds, and introspection. So I do see that this is probably with an individual who was really mirroring your behavior. So for those of you that have used like twin flame to describe your person, I would guess that this is about an ending, or oh my God, these fucking cards. Stop falling over. Okay. So this is probably about somebody that you considered very reflective of your energy. in regards to you. And the final card, palm tree. Stability, security, permanence, growth, endurance, and flexibility. So this is the same message. It's saying like you are stable and you are strong and you have the ability to endure any disappointments. Um, if you are flexible, if you bend, you won't break. So if you feel disappointed in what happens this week, there's this energy here of knowing that if you're flexible, you're going to receive something really stable, solid, and reliable. Seeing the stability tree come through with the Knight of Pentacles, which showed me, even though it was a perfectionistic energy, somebody that's made progress, somebody that has solid plans, somebody that wants to have something and to grow with you. I mean, we're seeing the expanding family energy here. So really wanting to grow something with you. And, if you're in a place where you're no longer able to expand your family with other human beings, it may be with like pet friends. So um, there is that possibility too. And your message for the week, your animal spirit is stag spirit. Take the lead. We love when my guides match my nails with the card that comes out. Thank you. I love that aesthetic. We love. And this is number 58. And the message from this card is, whether or not you have set your intention to lead, you may have found yourself suddenly called to step up to the forefront of your life. Stag spirit is a reminder that now is a time to heed the call to be sure, strong, and compassionate. Others will look to you and have it within you to see through the eye. No, others will look to you, and you have it within you to see through the eyes of stag spirit and walk with confidence as you take on the responsibilities that are yours now and model integrity in all that you do and in all your relationships. Be willing to see the best in others so that your compassionate heart keeps you on the right path. Stag spirit wants you to know that your responsibilities now are to yourself too, for you are learning and developing new skills. The best in you is coming into view as you step forward with strength, knowing that spirit supports you as you compassionately take the lead. You are a model for transformation now, sharing your experience, strength, and hope with others so they may grow and discover their best selves too. What a gift you are. Stay humble and authentic and walk your talk, for this is how a wise leader leads. I do see a masculine energy also able to embody that energy only because you yourself embody it. So if you've had somebody that you've been focused on, I do feel they may step into a leading role with you this week. But again, it's only because you yourself are in the energy of that leading role. Your self-care activity for this week is to take a walk, number 52. Remember, self-care activities from the love reading this week include writing a gratitude list and the beauty ritual. Those are some of the self-care activities that are ongoing. And the take a walk, or the beauty ritual or the gratitude list, let me remind you that I always set an intention that when you do these activities, that you choose some place in your life where you're trying to heal, and that you say to yourself that every time you do this activity, whether it's the beauty ritual or the gratitude list, it's healing, whatever it is. I chose my finances this week. I said that when I do my gratitude list, when I do my beauty ritual, it's going to increase my finances. And so far, I went from having 0 bookings to having 3 bookings. And also, that they happened when I was doing my nails. Is when I got I was doing my nails yesterday. I was on the phone with Luna. I heard a ding and I looked up and I was like, oh, somebody just booked a reading. I just made $100. Cool. And then went back to doing my nails. The other time that I got the reading booked, it was, I think, when I started to play The Sims. Like, my mind was just relaxed. I wasn't paying attention. And then boom, it came through then. And then I've been writing my gratitude list every day too. So I set the intention that when you take a walk, whatever it is that you're specifically focused on for healing, and let me remind you that if you spend a lot of your healing energy on another person, trying to heal the bond between you, trying to heal the connection between you, you're not going to really have as much of your own power. Because what I feel is you can heal the bond or the connection between you and another person by focusing on your own energy. That is how you heal the bond or connection, because there's only a bond or a break in the connection because of some inability for you and, by reflection, the other person to give and receive love. And that's normally blocked by some of the things that are unhealed within us. It's not normally, it always is. I don't think that there can be a time when you are unblocked and you are focused on a person that person can't come through, because I think that when you're unblocked, you specifically don't focus on people who are broken and blocked, because you're not attracted to that type of energy. You see it immediately. I just felt somebody touch my arm, my right arm. Probably a masculine energy, like kind of putting their hand on my arm, like a gentle squeeze, like a gentle pressure, like almost like a reassurance. Yes, like when you are healed, you just aren't attracted to. That's why you go through phases with your person. Sometimes you think of your person and you're like, ew, ew. The times when you call your friends and like, I don't even know why I like that person. That person is crazy. Right? What is that resistance to that energy? Well, a lot of times it's because they are reflecting back to you something that you did not like about yourself that you have moved on from, or something that you're currently doing that you don't like and needs to be worked on. But there are times really when somebody is repellent to you when you've already worked through something. There's also a feeling too that's not necessarily repellent, but amused, where you're just like, oh, it's okay. Like, I see you. I remember when I felt like that. It's okay. Like, you'll be all right. Like that kind of energy. I feel like that happens eventually, where you have more of a, like just like a more of a, it's almost like a parent, like a nurturing kind of a response, where you don't take it personally and you're not even annoyed by it. It doesn't even repel you. It's just, it's not attractive though, because you're not usually attracted to like a childish energy. You're attracted usually to somebody who like knows their shit and has their shit together. So it's usually not a time when you like really want to be with them. It's more in your phase where you have this unconditional love for them and you're holding space and you see them just do all this shit that normally you'd be like, ugh. And instead of that, you're just like, oh, that must have been uncomfortable. Like if you see them out with somebody and like, how healed are you? How healed are you? Here's how healed you are. If you see your person out on a night on the town and your thoughts are all about like how they're probably sleeping with somebody and how gross that is and like and it's kind of like a judgy whatever, that's probably some unhealed ego energy. When you see them out on a night in town and your heart breaks a little because you're like, oh, I don't think they're probably ready for any kind of deep connection. So one can only guess that that's probably not going to make them feel good. And then they're probably going to feel bad about it. So that's a bummer. Like that's a healed energy. And then when you can look at it and not see it at all because you didn't look at it, that's even better. That means you're totally healed and you're not going back and you're not trying to see the other person, because you're holding the space that when that person matches you at your level, they will come to you and there won't be any reason for you to look at any of their social media, because they won't use social media to communicate with you when they're finally on a level where they would be able to approach you without using social media. Do you catch my drift? So take a walk. Your mantra is with each step forward. And I feel that is really, really, really hitting the Knight of Pentacles card. Anybody with nails who has a trick for picking cards up, let me know. This Knight of Pentacles card really hitting for the with each step forward. I release what no longer serves me, which definitely is this death card, the things, the endings that you've had to allow for the new beginnings. With each step forward, release what no longer serves you, what has died and passed away. Experience a moving meditation and nourish your mind, body, and spirit simultaneously by carving out time to go on a walk. Commit to making a week-long routine where you go on one each day, even if it's only for a short time. Journal about how this time makes you feel and the revelations that come during your walks. Soon you'll see how much balance and joy they bring to your day. Get out into nature by be physically active, meditate, and be in awe of Mama Nature's beauty all at once. To keep things interesting, find somewhere local that you haven't been to before and would like to explore, like a park, trail, or botanical garden. Schedule a walking date with a loved one for something different to do together. Your journal prompt is: what sights, sounds, and smells do you notice when you go for walks? And how do these things make you feel? So, that is your self care activity for this week. I hope that all of that insight has helped you for this week ahead to face any challenges and to understand some of the energy that you might be going through this week. If anybody here would like a personal reading, there's a link in my profile: Venmo, PayPal, or Cash App. $22 is the suggested donation. If you would like a personal reading right now, and I shall do that. I am going to head over to stay on TikTok. So if you're here on YouTube and you'd like a reading, head over to Tuned in Tarot TikTok for a reading. Otherwise, I will see you Wednesday. I usually get Wednesday or Thursday, but I will see you then. Thank you so much for being here. Fare thee well.